Rocket League right now is in its second PlayStation 4 beta. The first beta was very successful. And so today we're going to show you what is in the new beta, along with some extra cool stuff for the GameSpot audience that will be in the final version, but is not yet available in the beta. One of the things that we really like about Rocket League and working on it is that we're trying to approach it like it's a chess type game, so that on the surface it seems like it's just cars playing soccer, and your goal is to hit the ball into the opposite colored goal of your own car. But in reality, what we're hoping that people discover as they play is that it's all about layers. So while at first you may just be hitting the balls into the goals, soon you realize that you can also jump or double jump. And if you master the controls well enough, you can actually start to fly through the air. And you can do bicycle kicks and front kicks and side kicks. You can do all sorts of flips. You can drive along the sides of the walls and on the ceiling. You can be aggressive or defensive, and all of these elements taken together adds a lot of strategy and a lot of competition to what seems like a simple game, but actually is quite complex despite its easy-to-play nature. The game is completely physics-based. So where you go and how you go is completely based on how fast you're going and the angles that you take things. We wanted to make sure that the game felt balanced, so that whenever you're playing, that the cars do what you expect them to do, and that you're not surprised by what happens, that you feel in control at all times. And one of the keys to doing that is understanding your boost meter, which is in the lower right-hand corner there. You can increase that by going over those little lighted circles that you see on the field, and as that goes up, that gives you more boost. Eventually you can actually go supersonic speeds if you have enough of it and hold it down long enough, but it allows you to do some really cool goals. We also have a new item called Season Mode, which we're going to talk about closer to release later this summer, which we're still working on. But the season mode is going to be, we think, a lot of fun. It's going to be much closer to traditional season modes that you would find in something like a Madden or a FIFA, where you can create your own team, take them through an entire season against other teams. You can customize the way your team looks. Your opponents some will be harder, some will be easier. You'll play in all sorts of different stadiums. We think that it's going to add a lot of layers for players who before have only ever thought of the game as a multiplayer-only game. But we also wanted to make sure that this time around we have a lot of single-player options. One of the things that is not available in the beta that we came here specifically to show is the ability to customize your car in the garage. So in the garage mode in the final game, you can see that we have multiple car types. We'll have at least 10 at launch, and each one is... this is a very specific thing to know, is that there are no stats or abilities assigned to these cars. We wanted to keep the game as balanced as possible and as fair as possible. So the only real differences in these cars, besides their look, is where their hitboxes are located. So that's the slight alteration that you'll see in how they play. Otherwise, we wanted to make sure that it's all about personal customization and expression. And in the original game, all you could do was change your skin. Here you can see now that we allow you to change your paint color for both primary and your accent color. We also have various paint types. So we're still working on how many we're going to have in the finished version, so don't necessarily read too much into how many appear on our list here. But if you were to select wood or glossy, for example, those are different paint types. We also plan to include matte, semi-gloss, metallic, things like that. They'll let players really customize the way that their car looks in a much more interesting way than we had before. We also have new tires. You can update your rocket boost. We have toppers, which are essentially hats, and that means that we have everything from the mariachi hat, which is a favorite, to the police cherry top. We have all sorts of silly things like a traditional sombrero. We have a whole bunch of things that we don't want to spoil the surprise on that are really funny. We also have things like taxi toppers and pizza delivery toppers, all sorts of different things that'll make people feel like the car is their own. And antennas are also another good example. We have a ton of different countries in there. You can unlock other flags that are either funny or silly or look really cool, camouflage flags, traffic flags, team flags from our season mode, all sorts of things. All in all, we're looking at more than 150 different items that you can customize your car with. at launch, and we plan on adding more things post-launch as well. And one of the keys that we think to keeping people involved is there's no super complicated way in how these unlock. Every time you play a game, as soon as you're done, you will unlock a new item. We wanted to make sure that people were always looking forward to the next thing, and so we think that as long as we're rewarding them for playing the game, that will keep them interested. And that's Rocket League. We hope you liked what you saw. We have a lot more to show you as we get closer to release later this summer, exclusively on PlayStation 4 for consoles and also on PC later in the year. We really hope that you have fun when you play the beta, and we'll see you there.